Hey, good evening, all. I just wanted to hop on here quick and throw some cards, share a meditation that I had earlier. Picked up on a wig. Um, it was it was an image of a curly brown wig, and it was being worn by who's that goofy turd that does those movies with Will Ferrell? That goofy looking guy. Anyway, um, the meaning behind that was actually referencing someone for which um, is putting on airs to seem more happy and entertaining than what they may actually be. Which, I mean, realistically, that's a good talent to have. I mean, you don't necessarily need to show all of your cards to everybody all of the time, unless it's of utmost importance for people to know your true emotions. Um, Most of the time, are you going to be better off just kind of keeping that stuff to yourself and processing it? A lot of people throw other people's emotions in their faces, especially if you are in a narcissistic situation. It goes from someone seemingly caring about how you feel into, well, that's your fault that you feel that way, etc., and so forth. There's blaming and, victim shaming and all that stuff. So, I mean, I can't say that it's necessarily a bad thing if someone does find themselves doing that. Like, way to embrace the survival mode, I guess. I mean, until you can get yourself out of that situation and into something where you don't have to do that. I mean, of course, the dream is to have people around you that are supportive and caring, who won't throw your emotions back in your face, who will understand that you're not attacking them when you're having a feeling, So, yeah, perhaps you're just doing what's right for you at this time. No shade. Um, had more than a few cards fall during that TED talk there. We've got stop giving away your power right now. We've got bet on yourself, take chances, reach your dreams, you've got this, and find ways to lighten up and not take everything so seriously. And we have just a whole bunch. Whole bunch. Let me see. Knowledge, learning, history, information. I'm getting the feeling like perhaps you're learning how to protect yourself, how to read someone. There may be something coming up big this summer, or not. Literally have the no card. What would summer be about? Maybe when you get this person figured out. Or, there could be. Huh. That's interesting. I think I'll come back to that one. Diamond Creative Force. Okay, so this kind of goes back to that. I have to wonder, is anyone keeping a journal right now? Doing any writing? Creative writing, perhaps? Hmm. Yeah, it seems like there's a relationship tied up in this too. There's broken heart, grief, funk, sadness, distress. hopelessness, regret. Are you perhaps working with someone else, possibly a coworker or a writing partner, on a piece of literature, perchance? Yeah, this keeps going back and forth. You know, there's an aggressive attitude here. And do you possibly have a partner or a family member that's not in agreement with you having a collaboration with someone? Do they feel threatened? They have very strong opinions about that. This is wonky. I don't even know what the heck is going on here, how to piece this together. I don't know if this is heading into the energy that we were picking up on last night with the military, because we've got a card or two here that, man, this is all over. Well, if you're writing something, you should be. If you're collaborating with someone, you should be. This aggressive person, if there is one, you know, they'll make their disdain for the situation well heard, and it might be kind of like your nail in the coffin to end things. This is so wonky, and I don't even know what in the hell. Do we have any clarification? Because is the person you're working with creatively, is that your next partner by chance? Movement, progression, and that might be why the current partner. That might be why the current partner is so against this collaboration. They already see, and you may be pretending to be happy to the current partner, and you know damn well it's coming to an end. Wish granted, though. It looks like whoever this this person you're working on a project with is someone you're very interested. You know, here's again this mentioning chess, just like we had in last night's, or was it the night before? And again, mention of like mind games and things, psychological. Oh boy. Manipulation and whatnot. I don't know. Whomever is working with someone on something creative, I have to wonder, are you the one that I was picking up on the other night that's dealing with functional alcoholic situation? Because it seems that way. And it looks like you're just being, your life is so special, treat it with loving care. It really looks like you're being egged to move on when you can. It seems like there are a lot of facets to this situation that prevent you from moving on right now. But when you can, do. And again, it seems like perhaps you're just, trying to keep the peace for now, and that might be for the best. If you're dealing with an alcoholic, they can get enraged pretty quickly, even when they're not drunk. There's a lot of changes that go on in the body when you're withdrawing from alcohol or drugs. Anything really. It can make a person pretty volatile. So pretending to be happy, pretending everything is okay, it's probably for the best for everyone right now. I will say, don't be surprised if that person comes at you and questions you or makes a big stink about whomever this is, co-worker or friend, that they see as a threat. Because it seems like from what the cards were saying, they're going to be pretty vocal about that, and they are going to air their grievances without giving too many fucks. And that could be within a few weeks. And again, we've got that chess coming up. Yeah, like I said before, it's chess, not checkers with this person, man. You really gotta watch yourself. I feel like there's probably a lot at stake too. There could be marriage that's fallen apart, separation of assets, kids could be involved, vehicles, the whole 9 yards. It could be a really big pain in the ass. Well, I personally wouldn't necessarily recommend living in the... I mean, yeah, it's always a good idea to live in the present. Yeah, we know. But, if you're going through something like this, you might need to hold on to something other than the bullshit right now. You may need something to hold on to. And if that's your future with this new person, if that's what you need to think about to stay in a happy mindset and keep your life going the way it needs to, as to not set someone off. I mean, all I'm saying is there are better times to be concerned about living in the moment, right? But perhaps more so, maybe just try your best to not live in the past. Don't look at the good times that you might have had with this person and really allow yourself to sink into that funk, because you know what? People grow and change, and sometimes it's not for the best. Sometimes they grow into new people that we don't even know anymore. And you realized you're practically married to a stranger and they're not the person that you thought they were. There's going to be a period of essentially mourning for a person for which doesn't exist anymore. It's like it's like the person you loved died. Though they didn't, they're right there. They're just a completely different individual now. It takes a lot of processing. It takes a lot of time realizing that's not them anymore. And maybe it never was them. Maybe it just took a long time for the mask to slip off. Whomever I'm talking to that resonates, you keep on keeping on. Keep happy in front of them as much as you can. Just try your best to not feed into. I feel like you're dealing with a narcissist. Um, it feels like that. Um, the word is thrown around. Don't go and take my word for it. I definitely recommend videos by Dr. Ramani on YouTube. Um, they're free to watch. She explains the differences between different behaviors, what makes a narcissist, what makes just an asshole, etc. Um, so um, you'd be doing yourself a big service to look into that if you're dealing with the situation I'm feeling. But yeah, don't be afraid to consider this situation as something of a mourning period, because people don't get married expecting that one morning they're going to wake up next to a stranger. It is something to mourn. It is definitely something to mourn. And while we all grow and we all change and we all morph into new versions of ourselves, be they good, bad, or ugly, perhaps you just weren't bargaining for all of this. And I know the wedding vows say, you know, in sickness and in health. Well, when one person is in sickness, be it mental illness or drug or alcohol addiction, and the other person is left to deal with the chaos that creates, those vows don't mean in sickness and in health when the person who is the obvious problem is not willing to put any work into resolving the issue, because it is their behavior that is causing the issue. It doesn't mean the person who is dealing with the chaos that the other person is creating, it doesn't mean that they are beholden to stay and deal if the other person isn't willing to put the work in. It's not a death sentence. And if you ask me, marriage these days is more just like a government contract. I don't think it really ends up being necessarily what it was intended to be, or what the church may intend for it to be. I know it started out as a property exchange, really. But just remember, you know, any loving God wouldn't want a person to live day in, day out with emotional terrorism from their significant other, and the significant other just thinks, well, this is how I am. This is how it is. I'm not doing A, B, and C. So you can stay and like it, or you can feel like a terrible human for getting a divorce. Do we have one more? Feel free to pause that to read. Very nice message for you. Maybe at this time, also keep like a private journal. It seems like there are a lot of emotions here that it's not going to be healthy for you to keep bottled up, but your significant other is not going to be receptive, because they're going to take it as an attack. All right, you lovely people, thank you again for tuning in. Wishing everyone well. Have a nice night.